Good morning, Programming 12. We are going to be adding all that network stuff from our tic-tac-toe program and our chat program. We're going to put all that sending and receiving stuff into our chess program and make a chess, basically really just two chess clients, but one's going to be called a server, one's going to be called a client. Just a reminder that we're not really making a server as a true server that accepts a bunch of different chess games and connects them together, chess clients, I should say. It's just really a peer-to-peer game. One is called server, one is called client. Um, it's not impossible to make that happen. It's just a way bigger project. So we're gonna just continue working on this. I think it's been a fun project. I hope you've been enjoying it. And I'm going to start by just saying that I'm going to have my tic-tac-toe server and client open. I have my client somewhere. And I'm going to have, of course, my chess program, but I'm going to need to make two new copies, or sorry, I guess a new copy. I'm going to make two copies anyways, to make one of them into the client and one of them into the server. So to do that, I just have my folder open that has it in here. Should I zoom in? I don't know if it's worth it or not. But here's my chess program. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Boop. It's called chess copy, so I guess I'll make that into chess client. And I'll do another one. And I'll call this one chess server. Now, if you do this, you have to also rename your PDE files, the processing files. So if I open up, say, chess client, it's still called chess, and if I try to open it, I'll get a weird error message, and it might even try to make a subfolder, which is kind of annoying. So as long as my chess program's not open right now, I can rename this one to chess client, and I'll go to the server as well to do the same thing. There it is. Chess server, chess client. Okay, so now I have my two separate programs. And what I'm going to do is just kind of go through the tic-tac-toe server and add what I need. It won't be exactly one-to-one because chess is a little bit different. We're sending more information, right? We're sending where the move begins and where the move ends. So we actually have to send four numbers across the internet. So that's going to be a bit trickier, but honestly, not that much trickier. So let's do it. Let's open up the chess server first, I guess. Doesn't really matter. And I have the tic-tac-toe server open on this side. My face is going to be a bit in the way of that, so I'll try to keep things up top here. I'm not sure how I'm fitting. I'll have to figure that out. So let's see. What are the first things? Well, number one, this is my chess. Any server or client, I'm going to have to bring in the processing.net library. So I'm going to put that at the top. And I'm going to have a server variable. So I'm going to put that up here as well. And I have to instantiate my server. So I'll put that into the setup. Okay, so we're getting places. We're getting places. Oh, look, my tic-tac-toe server actually doesn't have a lot of code in it. I'm just looking at this. I'm like, oh, it's kind of empty. So just a sec. I'll go to. Oh, look here. I have it here. I guess I'll just copy and paste it from my GitHub repo. Oh, that's embarrassing. Doo doo doo. Why didn't it save? The obvious answer is because I didn't press save. So that sucks to be me. All right, there we go. Okay. Okay, we're back. We're back into it. So let's put these split screen back the way I had it. Oof, it's hard. It's hard. Here we go. So I got my server. It's good to go. Okay, so my server object is my way of sending and receiving information. I use that object to do all that stuff. So it's been instantiated, and I can't really instantiate it until I import. So we're good. So the next step is, I guess, we got this, this way of listening to messages. So when we hear a message, we're going to have to manipulate the grid. And we're also going to be sending messages. We're going to do something like this as well. except that it's probably going to be a little bit more complicated. So, okay, whatever. So let's do the sending first, I think. So when we send a message, we don't want to send the message, yeah, I think we're only going to send the message when the move is complete. I can see an argument for making it so that you could see the first click on the opposite side, but I don't want to do that. I'm not going to worry about that. So we're gonna just add in this whole myServer.write, but it's a little bit more complicated. We can't just write a row and column because we're clicking on two squares, but I'll bring that over. Let's stretch out the client, the chest server a bit more. So if I want to do it just when I send, that's going to be in the else, right? It's not my first click, it's my second click, and it's a valid move as far as this tells me. So what I will do is after I make the move here, I will also write it. So I need to write. This is a tricky one. Do we really need the comma? I don't think we really need the comma because our numbers are always one digit. But I'm going to leave the comma in there anyways because it's a good practice to create a bit of a format for your data. Although we don't really need it because we're only going from 0 to 7 for rows and columns, we could just send the numbers all in one thing. I'm going to put in the commas because that's a pretty typical way to send data. You create some kind of format. And so the format's nice that we're going to use the commas to kind of separate that information. And it makes it a little bit more extensible for future projects. You're sending like XY coordinates in a large 2D space, right? Like where numbers could be multiple digits long, like 1, 2, or 3. Then you can't just jam them all together. So let's make it more robust than it really needs to be. So I'm going to add in the row 1, column 1, and we'll keep on going. We'll add in more. I'll also add, this is going to be a long thing here. Whoa. I also have to add in row 2 and column 2. Whoa, typing is so hard. Roll, there we go. So yeah, so I'm sending it across now with row 1, column 1, row 2, column 2. So that's going to be the message I'm going to send. And I don't think I have to do too much else to send data. That seems like that's pretty much all I have to do. Okay, so now how about receiving data? That one's a little bit trickier. So let's get the code back from the client. Do you guys hear Minecraft music playing? Is that me? Yo, wait, I have Minecraft open. Speaking of games that work online, I hope that's okay. I hope YouTube doesn't like block me because I have proprietary music playing or something. Don't block me, please. Okay, so anyways, we're gonna go get this this code here. This is what I want to take a look at. This is our previous way of reading in information that's coming from the client. So I'm going to put that in here as well. Oh, look at our draw function. It's so organized. Draw board, draw pieces. I'd hate to just jam in like blah right in here. We might as well make a function, right? So I'm going to put in receive move, I think is a reasonable name for that. And of course it doesn't exist yet, so I'll put it in. I'll just stick it in right here. Void receive move. It's actually kind of nice to program to Minecraft music, to be honest. I'm enjoying it a lot. Video game music in general is great for programming too. The people that make video games generally they have thought about how to make music that is not intrusive to you trying to concentrate on the game. So it's good background music, as opposed to, something like a music that makes you really emotional or angry or happy or you want to sing along to. Those kind of songs aren't great to program to. Okay. So here we go. So we're receiving our move, and we're going to basically use this again. This basically tells us if there's any message available, and if that's not null, that means there is. So we read in our incoming message, and then we just got to do a little bit more work here. We can't just read in R and C. We have to read in some more. So I'll call this R1, C1. And I'll do the same thing again, but this time I'll access the next two numbers as well. So we have to skip over the comma. So 3, 4 would be the comma. So 4, 5 would be the next number. And then 5, 6 would be the comma. So 6, 7 would be the next number. I'm pretty sure that's correct. But you know what? I'm just going to do a quick check. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 0, 1. This is 1, 2. This is 2, 3. This is 3, 4. This is 4, 5. This is 5, 6. This is 6, 7. Yes, that's correct. Riveting YouTube content, I know. Listening to Mr. Pilshake count. But I do want to show you that, like, you know, I don't just like know these numbers intrinsically or something. And if you were programming these as well, you would need to do these checks as well. Last but not least, I can't leave these variables the same name, so I'll make it R2 and C2. It sounded like Star Wars droid, R2C2. It's like a rip-off Star Wars, like Star Battles or something, where they just rename everything slightly. Okay, anyways, we'll try not to get off on a tangent. So what do we do now with this information? So we're going to conduct the move that we received. So basically, we need to take the piece that was at R1C1 and move it to R2C2. I cannot think of Star Wars droids now. And then and then we have to like delete whatever was at R1C1 because because it moved, right? Otherwise we're copying, we're like duplicating, which could be a fun chess, like clone chess or something, but that's not how chess is supposed to be played. So first of all, I'm going to set grid R2C2 to grid R1C1. Wow. Okay, so that's me basically making the move. Whatever was here, we're going to copy it over to the destination coordinates. But the whatever was there is still there. So I also have to do this. I have to like empty it out. I have to remove it. Oh, I feel good about that. I think. We'll find out if it works in a little bit. So I'm going to save this as it is. Now this video has been going on for a while. I'm tempted to make a second video that is just just doing the client side. So I think I'll do that, and that way, if anyone's in the future just wants to watch the client or whatever, then they don't have to scrub through so much video. Okay, so I'm going to pause there and take a look at the client video if you want to see the rest of the story. Okay, thanks everybody.